What's up, everybody? Welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. Today we're going to kind of go over my second chance. Now, I was actually very fortunate enough after being hooked on heroin, addicted to drugs, and basically living a life of a fucking scumbag. I sold drugs, I dealt drugs, to be given a second chance. And that's why I actually believe in second chances, where I think a lot of people don't. They take things for face value to be like, hey, this person fucked up, fuck them, they don't deserve a second chance, they hate them, whatever. There hasn't really been one person in my life, especially in the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 years, that something has happened with. Like, I've had a couple falling outs here and there, and people really screwed me over, and I've made amends with it, and we're not best friends, but I'm also not mad at them. Like, there's always a chance for a second chance as long as you're still alive, okay? And that's just kind of how I view it, and that's because of the fact that I was given a second chance when I didn't really deserve one, and there was no reason for me to get one over anyone else. So we're going to back up to, I was working in a club as a bouncer, and I was addicted to heroin, I was using cocaine, ecstasy, I was using all those drugs, that party drugs, etc., and I eventually woke up and was like, I need to go to rehab. Like, this is it. Like, I have no money left, and I'm working 2 jobs, and I still don't have any fucking money because I'm spending it all on dope. My wife at the time, I was actually married, she was hooked on it as well, and it just wasn't going a good direction. A few of my friends have died, and I knew that was going to happen to me, or I was going to go to jail, and it's just not where I wanted to be. So at that point, I decided to get clean, and I actually wasn't even working at the time when I got this second opportunity. Now, I always believe now, I didn't then, because, I'm older now, and I've seen things and been around, and actually don't believe that things don't happen for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe that you're in a certain spot at a certain time for a reason, and nothing is just by chance. That's just what I personally believe. Now, I was actually at a mall. A friend that I had in common from just being around the clubs and stuff told me about this company. It was a private contracting company. They did private police. They hired private police officers, or quote-unquote public safety officers. So in Providence, Rhode Island, there's no police station. There's no fire station. It's the Providence Public Safety Complex. That's what it's called. So people automatically go, what the fuck, public safety officer? So I very rarely even use that fucking term. I just say private police officer because we were contracted by private companies to do quote-unquote police work. Now, as he told me that this was happening, I thought, shit, like, I was only arrested once. It was a misdemeanor arrest. I don't have felonies or anything like that. I haven't been working. I mean, I don't know what I should say. I mean, I'll take drug tests all day long. I'll pass drug tests, but I don't know what I should tell them about, what I'm doing right now in this interview. I'm like, if they even take the interview. So I went home. I devised a resume. Said that I wasn't working due to illness. And when, I finally got the interview, because this guy actually pushed for me to get to. He's like, I know him. He's a good guy. He's level-headed, etc. And, I went in, I met with the guy, and at this point, I was clean. So, therefore, I was the guy, not the guy you see here today, but a lot more the guy today now than I was, obviously, the heroin addict, drug addict, scumbag. And, he said, hey, you know what, we need people. Izzy was the guy's name. He said, he's vouching for you. I'm going to give you a shot. He's like, we really need good people on here to be responsible. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, fuck, responsible is not me. Like, that's the last thing I am. I'm not responsible. Fuck. So structure, fucking routine, responsibility. Like, these are things that I wasn't good with. So I accepted the job, went through the psychiatric evaluation, the physical exams, got OCAT certified. If you guys know what that is, oleum capsule certification. You get sprayed with the pepper spray, you fight off an attacker, all this stuff. Handcuffing class certified, all this shit. Went through all that stuff. Did everything I had to do to get a job with this company. Now, I get a job with this company, and I'm probably there so I left there in 2005. So this was 2004, it was bought out. So probably about 2003 is when I was with this company. It's called the Rouse Company. The Rouse Company was then later on bought out by a big corporation called IPC, which was International Protection Corporation, I think is the name of it, the IPC company. And they're basically just like a bunch of security officers, etc. And they have different levels of security officers that go anywhere from like mall security all the way up to like private bodyguarding, pretty much, okay? And they're all over the country, etc. So it was bought out by them. And at this point, I was at the point where I was really doing well. And I did actually kind of catch the attention of the captain, the lieutenant, who actually became friends of mine from being around there. The 2 lieutenants that were there and there's actually a major that worked there and a captain, and the director, the security director, had all kind of taken notice because I was trying really hard, probably harder than I should have, because I felt like I had something to prove, and it wasn't to them. I had to prove it to myself. Prove to myself that I could do this job and be responsible, make the right decisions, etc., etc. And then once that had happened, before IPC had bought the company, I was promoted to S2, shift supervisor. I was actually promoted to the rank from officer to sergeant. So I was now a sergeant, shift supervisor, responsible for everybody on that shift and everything that went on. Every call that was taken, every law that was broken, every fucking report had to be written, everybody who was taken into custody. I was responsible for all of that. Now, okay, so this is coming from someone who 2 years earlier basically was in the fucking throes of drug addiction and was completely hopeless and desperate and didn't really know where my fucking life was going to go. I'm now in charge of people who are in charge of policing fucking laws and rules. That's a complete mindfuck, and it became important for me to see this job through, and I stayed there until I left, and I moved down to Maryland, and I got a job at Gold's Gym in D.C., and, that really, the fact that they gave me that second chance, the fact that they believed in me, that they believed I could do it, they saw something in me that I didn't know I had in myself, and they made me a leader. They took me and made me a leader. It was the first time in my life that I ever been given the responsibility to lead a group of people, and that carried over into Gold's Gym. When I got to Gold's Gym in D.C., I was a trainer there for only maybe 6 months, or no, it was about a year. I was in D.C. before I was asked to actually manage the biggest Gold's Gym on the East Coast in Rockville, Maryland, on Neville Street. It was a whole staff of trainers. They wanted me to manage them, be the fitness manager. And I was like, I've never done that. I don't know if I can. But they saw whatever I was doing, and they thought that I could do it. And I was developed, and that's what I did. I ran that department. And when they had some problems, I ran the whole gym. As there was no general manager. I ran the gym. I ran a sales department. I ran all that stuff within, you're talking about from 2003 all the way to 2005. That's not a very long period of time to go from being, down here, very desperate and trying to figure out if I'm even going to fucking not put a bullet in my head the next day because I don't know what I want to do or where I'm going or how I'm, what I'm about, to actually going from leading a security team, then to leading, a sales team and a training team, and one of the biggest brands, the most recognized brand in the entire fucking world, which is Gold's Gym. That is my second chance. That is my success story. That is me coming from the ground floor and building my way back up to where I was still finding who I was. I was still learning about myself, what I could do, what I couldn't do, my strengths, my weaknesses. I was trying to reinvent myself every time I came up against something I didn't know how to do or whatever. I felt I needed to reinvent myself, and I had to stand strong, and even if I didn't believe in myself, these other people were believing in me, so I have to do it for them. And it worked. I learned, and I became more responsible, and I became the type of person that likes structure and likes repetitiveness and likes routine, and and can stand strong and say, I need you to do this. Can you do this for me? Good. I need this done by 5 o'clock. We really need it done. Please don't let me down. Learn to talk to people in a way where you get things done without having to be a dick. And there are going to be people don't believe me, and that's fine, because I saw people trying to call me out in the comment section about, yeah, you were a fucking cop. Okay, here's the deal. Unlike some YouTubers, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't like to mention that guy's name. It's like Voldemort. You never mention his name. I like to put some proof behind what I say. There are pictures of me. There are whatever. Anyways, here is my badge. The gold badge is the shift supervisor badge. It says Rhode Island on it, officer. The black band was from, I cannot remember the individual's name, who died, and I was actually chosen to be on the team that went to the funeral. It's called the Color Guard, and represent our company at his funeral. It was a big nationwide thing when this guy was killed in Rhode Island, and I was honored to be able to do that. So that's where that band is from, and my badge came with me. And here's actually my ID. You guys are gonna don't laugh at the picture, motherfucker. So here's my ID. So you can get that to zoom in, hopefully. Come on, zoom, motherfuckers. All right, on that right there. I don't know if you can see on the lapel, on the neck, or over here on the neck. Sergeant stripes. Okay, that was my position. S2 sergeant. I know I had some hair there too. That was before my hair started falling out. So you see, steroids weren't responsible for my hair falling out because I was on steroids here. Look at my fucking head, how bloated it was. But this is my licensing authority, my Rhode Island licensing authority here. Okay, the date of my birth, and then the date it was issued, or it expires, or the date of hire, which was 2014 when they changed they changed, what do you call it? Hands. The company was sold. So, guys, I don't believe in people that do bad things are bad people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that people that do good things are good people, necessarily. You know, bad people do good things and good people do bad things. But, you know, deep down inside, people fuck up. And I've done plenty of it in my life. I've absolutely done plenty of it in my life. And without that second chance that I was given that day in the mall, a random meeting of a friend who I hadn't seen in a while, when I was already clean and ready to accept the responsibility that was coming my way, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here in this camera right now talking to you guys. None of you guys know who the fuck I am. I might not even be alive. You know, more than likely, I probably would have been dead from either the drugs, the lifestyle, or maybe taking my own life at that point, which I thought about several times. And that's not how it worked out. So when people, you know, do me wrong, you know, or do something to me or say something to me or whatever, you know, it's not a hard thing to forgive them. You don't have to forget what they did. You don't have to forget, but you can forgive, and you can give them a second chance. And sometimes people need a third chance. Sometimes people need a fourth chance. That's going to have to be something that you decide when you decide it. But all in all, guys, yeah, don't hold things against people, you know, that you know are good people just because they had a bad action. Their lives could be on a totally different track 3 years from now. They could be doing something really, really important for other people, helping other people, or whatever the case may be, and you know, they just went through a bad time. BioCytraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biocytraining.com is the blog. It's the fucking strided bicep is still there. It's still there, even fucking 3 weeks after the show, and we're out.